Good morning, everyone. Trance Channel, Tina Spalding here for our daily Course in Miracles lessons. Let me just turn that volume up for you all. Today's lesson is number 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Your holiness reverses all the laws of the world. It is beyond every restriction of time, space, distance, and limits of any kind. Your holiness is totally unlimited in its power because it establishes you as a son of God, at one with the mind of his Creator. Through your holiness, the power of God is made manifest. Through your holiness, the power of God is made available. And there is nothing the power of God cannot do. Your holiness, then, can remove all pain, can end all sorrow, and can solve all problems. It can do so in connection with yourself and with anyone else. It is equal in its power to help anyone because it is equal in its power to save anyone. If you are holy, so is everything God created. You are holy because all things he created are holy, and all things he created are holy because you are. In today's exercises, we will apply the power of your holiness to all problems, difficulties, or suffering in any form that you happen to think of it, in yourself or in someone else. We will make no distinctions because there are no distinctions. In the 4 longer practice periods, each preferably to last a full 5 minutes, repeat the idea for today, close your eyes, and then search your mind for any sense of loss or unhappiness of any kind as you see it. Try to make as little distinction as possible between a situation that is difficult for you and one that is difficult for someone else. Identify the situation specifically and also the name of the person concerned. Use this form in applying the idea for today. In the situation involving blank in which I see myself, there is nothing that my holiness cannot do. In the situation involving Bob in which he sees himself, there is nothing my holiness cannot do. From time to time, you may want to vary this procedure and add some relevant thoughts of your own. You might like, for example, to include thoughts such as, there is nothing my holiness cannot do because the power of God lies in it. Introduce whatever variations appeal to you, but keep the exercises focused on the theme. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. The purpose of today's exercise is to begin to instill in you a sense that you have dominion over things because of what you are. In the frequent shorter applications, apply the idea in its original form unless a specific problem concerning you or someone else arises or comes to mind. In that event, use the more specific form in applying the idea to it. So that is lesson number 38. There is nothing my holiness cannot do. Let's see what Jesus has to say about this lesson today. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And as usual, we thank you for joining us today. You are giving yourself the most wonderful, wonderful gift of disciplining your mind. You will no longer be a victim of its stories. You will no longer be a victim of its hatefulness. You will no longer be a victim of its fear as you master these lessons. And we know that they are becoming more and more difficult for you to fit into your day now. This is where your decision-making process is very, very important. You must decide, is my peace of mind worth finding these 5-minute periods to do this exercise? Do I value everything else that is going on in my day more than finding the time to do these exercises? If you do believe that, if you say to yourself, I am too busy with the problems and busyness of my current life to do these exercises, you are tacitly saying, my life is going to stay the same because I am not willing to do anything differently. It's an important thing for you to see. If you get to the end of your day and you have forgotten all of the lessons, you didn't make the time, you must admit to yourself that your spiritual practice is not that important to you because you didn't think about it all day long. What happens with many beings in their spiritual practice is they will say, oh no, I'm a very spiritual person. I've read all these books and I believe in these things. But when it actually comes down to the discipline of doing these lessons, the mind is occupied with worldly matters, not spiritual matters. So it's very important that you witness this in yourself if it happens, not to berate yourself or to condemn yourself, but to witness, I went through 8 hours today and not once did I think about my spiritual life. I must reassess my definition of myself as a spiritual practitioner because for those 8 hours, no, I wasn't. I was not paying attention. I was caught up in the momentum of my already existing material life. This is a hard lesson for many beings because they view themselves as highly evolved spiritual students and yet have no idea what's going on in their mind. And so this is a tough day for those of you that are now beginning to see that perhaps you're not quite as spiritually focused as you thought. And that is okay, dear ones. That is what this training program is for, as we have said many, many times. And now is the time to call upon your holiness, your connection to spirit, your connection to love, to carry you through these more disciplined time frames that we are speaking about in this particular lesson. But you can take 5 minutes to buy yourself a coffee. You can take 5 minutes to put gas in your car. You can take 5 minutes to go on Facebook and scroll through the posts there. So allow yourself the luxury of giving yourself 5 minutes to connect with truth. My name is Jesus. I am that one that you know as Jesus. And I lived on your earth plane a long time ago in your timeline. And I remember the temptations of earth, not in the sense of evil or lustfulness, these kinds of things, but just the time everything took, the labor everything took, the busyness and the dramas and the other people wanting you to do things. So I know that these lessons are challenging for you, but we on this side know the benefits of these lessons, and we encourage you profoundly to follow this guidance. We will speak to you again tomorrow. Alrighty.